Hello, everybody watching on YouTube and everybody watching on Twitch. I am Vince Russo. I'm here with the great Billy Botti of lockbetting.com, of podcastonapoll.com, on the dirtysheets.com, bro. And we are here to give you a little nitty gritty dirt show review, everything happening in the world of pro wrestling before it happens. I swear to God, Billy, I am convinced. Bro, if you are an AEW fan and you are one of the people that watch AEW, bro, I swear to God, I honestly believe that if the entire AEW roster got in the ring and on the count of three, they all dropped trowel and took a dump in the ring at the same time, so like 50 people taking a dump at the same time, bro, I'm convinced that AEW fans would put that over. I have never seen a fan base, bro, that can make excuses, that can say stuff that is terribly wrong and stuff that is the drizzling shits is actually good. I swear to God, bro, the WWE fan base was never that way. Something wasn't good, they would say it wasn't good. Even people that like my work, bro, if they didn't like something I did, they would say it. Bro, AEW, no matter what they do, their fan base puts it over, bro.
Are you alluding to anything in particular? Like I've caught the Sting segment this week because we don't get AEW till tonight, but I watched that and I watched him put over Tony and I watched him say, you know, who wanted Tony to say it's Sting or whatever. And I just thought to myself, you're supposed to be playing like the dark, mysterious character. One side of the story is that we don't know why you're here. You're trying to play off that mystery. And the other side is you're being Steve Borden, like you're being Steve. You're coming out here and you're being a mark and you're asking him to. This was like a cross between a tribute speech or an induction ceremony and the storyline. Either do your storyline or be a parody of wrestling, which is what it is. I didn't like this segment at all. You could have just done the thing with Sting and Cody. And here's my issue with Cody as well. So Cody and AEW, Cody wanted to go off and he wanted to do his own company. He felt like he was underutilized in WWE. They made multiple complaints about celebrities and part-timers who were the main things on AEW that was centered around this week. But really, Cody's problem is that he didn't get to play with the celebrities and the part-timers because he didn't get to play with them. So that was Cody's problem. Like Cody didn't get a chance to mingle with them because he wasn't at a high enough level. And now he gets to play with them in his own. He didn't like that toy, so he went and built his own toy. And Tony Khan is the one providing it all for him. Let me also hit you up with some other things that I had this already down to talk about, and it's almost like you knew what I was going to say. Mike Tyson's pay-per-view numbers are in. You want to take a guess at what they did?
Oh, my God. No, I'm very, very curious, though, bro.
For an exhibition fight. 1.2 million people paid $50 for this exhibition fight.
Wow.
Under 900,000 people tuned in to watch him on AEW. What does that tell you about your product? You were on for free, and you drew less by 300,000 people than a boxing match, which was an exhibition fight where people paid $50 to watch Mike Tyson do something. There is no way on earth that if Chris Jericho fought Mike Tyson on pay-per-view, that they would get even a quarter of that 1.2 million. They would not get 250,000 buys for Tyson versus Jericho because AEW isn't this revolutionary product. And it's not a case of, oh, if people knew about it, like Meltzer thinks, it would be absolutely fine. It would get over. All these networks would be fighting over it. That's bullshit because you had Mike Tyson on there. People proved last week or a few weeks ago that they would pay $50 to watch Mike Tyson do anything. Even in terms of the promotion of the film The Hangover, where Mike Tyson has a few parts in it, that a lot of the success of that, it was a great film, all the Hangover films are, but a lot of the success was attributed to putting Mike Tyson into the trailer. So that's what Mike Tyson can do for movies, for box office, for Triller, for coming in and doing an exhibition fight, but he could do very little for AEW because no one gives a shit. Now, here's another thing that I want to talk about as a sports guy, not someone who lives inside the wrestling bubble. How fucking angry would you be if you support Fulham Football Club?
Oh, my, I talk about that every week.
Or the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Bro, I talk about that every week, Billy. I'm like, bro, if I was a fan of those teams, I would be out of my mind. You got this Yahoo cutting promos. Bro, did you see the promo we cut where he's pushing his biceps out? Like, bro, if I'm a Jaguar fan, are you effing kidding me, bro?
You're sitting there right now, and you're sitting there with your little headset on as Don Callis and Kenny Omega runs past you. You're there. You're producing a wrestling show that isn't making you a profit. Like Fulham are involved in a league which has billions of dollars of rights fees per year, and the prior year before that, in order to get into this Premier League, Fulham made a loss of £20.9 million. The owner is nowhere to be seen. He's here messing around doing a wrestling show. The Jacksonville Jaguars record last season was 6-10. They have one win this season. In the last 2 years, the team that Tony Khan runs has got 7 wins, Vince, in 2 years. The Jacksonville Jaguars have got 7 wins, and he's sitting there playing wrestling promoter with a headset on. Fulham this season, their record, played 11, won 2, drawn 1, lost 8 with a -10 goal difference. They have 7 points from 11 games. They sit 17th in the table and are very likely to be relegated. In fact, this is brought up by the fact they only got their first win of the season a few weeks ago away to Leicester, which was an upset. And this is a manager that Tony Khan criticised but did not fund in order to buy the players, because what we do here, we're not like the NFL. In soccer, you move up the leagues,
right?
And they moved up from the Championship to the Premier League. He did not invest in this team in order to make sure they stayed in the Premier League, and then he criticised the manager for their start. Meanwhile, you're sitting there with a headset playing wrestler, where you have two franchises that are doing very, very poorly and need your attention, your financial resources. And the supporters and the people that follow these teams want to see you and hear from you and want you to address this situation and to become involved. And you're here with what is by comparison a minor company that you're putting your time and energy into, and you're on TV as a headset. If I supported one of these clubs and I was watching AEW and I saw this dipshit with his headset on backstage trying to play wrestling promoter, I would be furious.
I say that every week, Billy. I mean, God, because I'm a New Yorker, and I'm saying to myself, bro, if this guy was doing this in the New York market, and the whether he owned the Giants or the Jets, and they sucked, and this guy was playing with a little indie, bro, people would be losing their freaking minds.
It's like Steinbrenner. It's like Steinbrenner in the Attitude Era trying to go and spend his time at ECW.
Right.
Isn't it?
Billy, can you and I listen? Nobody's talking about this. And Billy is always the guy that talks about this stuff. Nobody's talking about it. But then all of a sudden, 6 months later, everybody's talking about it. Billy, here's what I'm really starting to believe. Bro, can we make an educated guess that AEW may be nothing more than a tax write-off for the Khan family? I mean, seriously, could that be a possibility, bro? They got billions of dollars. They own these sports franchises. They own these businesses. Bro, could it be a possibility that they had to show a loss somewhere, and maybe that's all this is?
Well, I mean, Fulham didn't make money last year. They made a £20.9 million loss, which is around about $27 million. This year, with the Premier League money, this manager, Scott Parker, who's an ex-player for Chelsea, pulled miracles to get this team into the division. And this idiot criticizes him without backing him financially and bringing in the players that they need. He hasn't got a clue, yet he's going to, because he can have an opinion on wrestling. I think that this AEW thing has deluded his mind, because he can come into this wrestling community, he can have opinions, and he can play booker, and these idiots that watch it are completely accepting of it. They eat up everything that AEW does. And obviously, he's developed some kind of ego within that environment where he feels like, oh, I came into this and I did this. And when you're looking at football, obviously, I don't think he bought a football club if he wasn't a football. I'm talking about soccer. He didn't buy a soccer club if he wasn't at least a soccer fan. But you have no business in that industry telling your coach what he should be doing and criticizing anything that he's done tactically when you haven't invested in the club. You cannot go up these levels without making any kind of significant investment. This Jacksonville team, a few years ago, they had one of the best defenses in the NFL, and there's been no investment there at all. They're now playing with Glennon as their quarterback. A few weeks ago, they had a backup there called Luton. They don't have any receivers here for this Jacksonville team. I mean, I know we're talking very much like about sports here, but this team are tanking their way towards a number one pick, which is going to center around Tony Khan and whoever being involved come the draft next year to try and reinvigorate this franchise. But instead, like all we had over the last few years is hyperbole about moving this team to London. Oh, we're going to move the Jags to London. Oh, we're going to be a London-based NFL franchise. Oh, we're going to play at the Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium. Now, you'd be even more livid if you're a Jacksonville fan when the only thing that this guy has addressed in the last 2 years is the fact we're going to take the team out of Florida and move it to London. I honestly cannot even fathom the anger it would be. I mean, I find it annoying just as a sports person to watch this guy running two teams into the ground anyway. But at the end of the day, it's his money. But I don't understand why he bought them. Perhaps the sports teams are the write-off, because Tony Khan and his dad, they didn't make money in sports. They didn't make money in the Jags. They didn't make money in Fulham. And they certainly aren't making money in AEW. All the money has been made everywhere else. So I think this is a spoiled rich kid who's just now got all these toys.
Bro, you know what it tells me? Nobody talks about this, bro, because they're all so far up this guy's ass. It's nausea. You listen to Meltzer, bro. I'm embarrassed for Meltzer. When I hear Meltzer talk about AEW and Tony Khan, I'm literally embarrassed for the guy. But think about this, bro. You know what this tells me, Billy? I'm going to be honest with you. This tells me that Tony Khan, you want to know the truth? Here's the truth, bro. Tony Khan has absolutely no respect for the wrestling business and believes anybody can be a booker, anybody can write a television show, anybody could do it. Because if that wasn't the case, bro, I don't see him trying to coach the Jaguars. I don't see him trying to coach Fulham. He can't do those jobs. Those jobs are above his talent scale. Those jobs are above his expertise. But, he's a television writer and a booker. He can do that. Bro, my biggest pet peeve, and these yahoos are freaking arguing with me. And it's like, shut the F up. You don't know what you're talking about. Billy, you and I know every name you've got on a wrestling roster, bro, you got to protect every name. The name of the game is to build the stock of every wrestler on your roster. You do not want to diminish the value of anybody. You want to keep raising the bar, raising the bar, raising the bar. Bro, for an entire year, they build Jon Moxley as Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is the badass, bro. This is the lunatic fringe. This is the crazy guy. This is the guy, choking people out with barbed wire. This is the guy that's not all there. This is the guy that's dangerous. This is the guy that's this. This is the guy that's that. For an entire year, bro, the guy gets screwed out of the whatchamacallit, all elite title. The guy gets screwed out of the title by Omega and Callis, and he's nowhere to be found. Well, guess what, bro? Now I guess Jon Moxley isn't that bad after all. Now I guess, to be honest with you, I guess Jon Moxley is a little bit of a wimp, because I know damn well, watching wrestling all these years, if you would have screwed a Rock, if you would have screwed a Hogan, if you would have screwed an Austin, if you would have screwed a Flair, if you would have screwed anybody of that caliber, I promise you there would have been some type of revenge, retaliation the following week. Something. Bro, the guy's not even on the show. So now, bro, of course, here's what the AEW fans tell me. You ready, Billy? Oh, well, Vince, Renee is pregnant and he's spending time with his wife. Or, oh, Vince, he's going to Japan, so he's got to quarantine for 14 days. Bro, do you listen to yourself? This has nothing to do with whether the guy is home on maternity leave or whether the guy is going. It's got nothing to freaking do with that. If they knew the guy was going to go away, then, bro, they would have handled this differently. Either he would have been beaten in a situation where his neck was broken, his back was broken, something that literally was done to this guy that would have put him on the shelf and put a ton of heat on Kenny Omega. Meanwhile, bro, if you know the guy is disappearing, at least shoot something after the match that you can play the following week. You just can't have the guy not show up because now he looks like a pussy. Bro, that is wrestling 101. And
Steve Austin had to be hit by a car when he was taking time off.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That is wrestling 101. And for AEW fans to defend it, bro, you're not even fans. You're not even fans, in my opinion, if you don't understand what I'm saying. You can't build a guy as a badass for an entire year. Then he loses because he's hit in the head with a microphone and he's nowhere to be found the next week. Sorry, bro. You just cut his freaking balls off. It's got nothing to do with him taking time off. But Jesus, bro, they defend freaking everything. It's ridiculous.
This is the problem, Vince, because they're aiming it towards the fan base that would be online to know that he's going to Japan, that know that his wife is pregnant. And that's the problem. You have this weird cocoon where it's these fans who will give these excuses because they know. What about Steve and Larry who was flicking through and started watching it this week? What about maybe they like something that they God knows what, but maybe they like something that they saw. Maybe you got 100,000 people this week that heard about Sting and they wanted to watch. Maybe they're not in the loop with your story. You should not be booking a secret society. Secret society booking is suicide for your company because you have no ambition then to bring in the outside people. The outside people don't need to know that Moxie's wife is pregnant. They don't need to know that he's going into Japan. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter because you're somewhere. We lost the concept that the idea of wrestling was to suspend belief and to try and fill in the gaps within a storyline setting, not to assume that everybody is online and knows everything that's going on anyway. And that's why you just had John Moxley beat and took him off TV. But this is fluid with everything that they do. Cody went off TV to go and shoot a movie that we're all supposed to know about when he lost his title as well. But with Cody, he was beaten up properly by the Dark Order because at least Cody is more protective of his character, which is surprising to me because Moxley complained and bitched on every single podcast afterwards. Vince McMahon doesn't know what he's doing. Vince McMahon has this idea for me. I don't like Vince McMahon's ideas. Well, if you're so intelligent and you have this, first of all, I don't think over the last 12 months I've seen anything revolutionary and incredible from Moxley. So everything that he was supposed to be when he got away from Vince McMahon's grip and Vince McMahon was ruining John Moxley, I don't think I've seen anything that impressive over the last 12 months. Secondly, as somebody who went on Jericho's podcast and every other podcast that apparently Meltzer and he did all the Mark podcasts. he's a bit of a market himself. He comes across as a cool guy, but he went and did every single Mark-based podcast. He went and did The Observer. He did Jericho's show, which is fine. He went and did the Wade Keller. What's Wade Keller do? What's that show?
Pro Wrestling Torch.
The Torch, yeah, he did. I'd heard that one. He did the Torch. Yeah, he went and did all of it. He set the table for what AEW was. He set the table for what Jon Moxley was going to be. And he's equally to blame because he's on a fat enough contract and they went after him enough for him to turn around and say, hey, why don't you kill me? Like, because if I'm going to be going away,
exactly. Bro, I can't imagine. I swear to God, bro, I couldn't imagine. You know, Austin gets beat for the title on Sunday at the pay-per-view. So Austin shows up to the building on Monday, and I tell Steve, you're not on tonight's show. I can't even imagine that. Bill, you know how I tried to explain it to people? Because they're effing idiots. Bro, one of my favorite franchises, and I got a feeling you're a fan too. Bro, John Wick. You watch John Wick?
I haven't watched. Austin's just getting into it because there's a Fortnite character. We're going to watch the films over Christmas.
Okay, bro. I compare it to John Wick. Bro, what happens in the very first episode, the very first movie of John Wick, bro, is these thugs kind of break in his house, and, bro, they make the mistake of killing John Wick's puppy. Bro. The minute John Wick's puppy is killed, bro, the shit is on. And my thing is, okay, bro, it's like the bad guys killing John Wick's puppy and John Wick looking at the dead puppy and saying, okay, I think I'll take a week off. Like, Doug, how can you rationalize? How can you rationalize that they didn't cover that character's ass by doing something? That is the inexperience of Tony Khan. That is Tony Khan not having an effing clue as a booker. But yet he thinks he can book, he thinks he can write, and he's horrible, bro.
Storytelling isn't that difficult. Yes, there can be some like some eccentric things down a lot. You got to make changes, but up the top, it's very simple. I mean, the stories that we told like over the years, Rocky Balboa was an underdog who won the title. Daniel LaRusso was a kid that moved to a new town and they kicked the shit out of him every day until he won a karate tournament. Even to the very last Rambo that I saw, they kidnapped his daughter and drugged her to become a prostitute, and they kept drugging her till she died. He then went down to wherever they were, killed a bad guy, baited all of them to come and find him, and he set up a trap and murdered the entire crew. The last Rambo is incredible because you want him to kill everybody because they killed his daughter, and that's so easy. You plant a seed, you do something bad to the good guy where you want the good guy to win. Like and that you could have actually done that in this situation because they screwed Ambrose, but instead this audience are marking out about the union between TNA and AEW. They're happy over Kenny. They're like loving it. Like I saw that even this week where they were going, "Oh, that was the Callis and Kenny thing was the best promo of the year that they did." Well, I don't understand how you can promote that as what it was because there was obviously no. In hindsight, wouldn't you have planned this further ahead? Because TNA have shot all of their TV for a while, and there was no way to shoehorn Kenny Omega actually onto the show, which is why you ended up doing this. But it just seems like poor planning. I mean, if Tony Khan's going to spend all of this money, what I would have done is I would have booked an additional TV taping, or at least a segment. I would have had people go in somewhere so you could have done this in ring and at least have some interaction with the TNA people. And if WWE had done this, if WWE had promoted something and it turned out to be a backstage segment, if you turn around and said, I remember they actually did it once where they said before Goldberg beat Bray Wyatt for the title, they said that Goldberg was going to be on SmackDown and he challenged Bray via satellite. There was loads of uproar online where they turned around and said, "Oh, this is bullshit. Like Goldberg was supposed to be coming to SmackDown or whatever." And that's not even a huge angle. This is a massive angle, and they have been giving a pass with everything because that's what their audience will do. They're so anti WWE and they so want this to succeed that they'll give them a pass. And the only debate for me, really, Vince, is that whether they are publicly defending it and deep down inside they know that this isn't good, and they have to keep out this public pretense, or whether they are genuinely the stupid. Like that's the real only question that really lingers.
You're dead on about that, bro. You're dead on, because I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying you guys can't be that stupid. Like, stop it, man. You can't be that freaking stupid. All right, Billy, what do you got for us in store on the Nitty Gritty Dirt Show today? What do you got for us, bro?
Let's have a look here. So we're going to carry on from last week where I said I had a story about Big E. We'll talk about that for a while because there's issues with Big E in terms of what they want him to be, what he wanted to do, and in terms of kind of being in this limbo at the moment with his character. We'll talk about what they could be potentially planning for WrestleMania. And it doesn't involve The Rock. I want to talk about Vince McMahon and how, okay, I wanted to ask, I could just ask you and then we'll talk about it more on the show. Is he a guy who finds it difficult to get sad, or have you seen him like upset or is he a guy that needs to get angry so sometimes men will try to get angry when they're upset to mask when they're upset. Like it seems like
Vince McMahon will never ever show any kind of weakness. And if getting upset, getting sad is a weakness, which in Vince's eyes it is, he will not show that.
Well, I mean, he was clearly upset and rightfully last week with the whole thing with Pat, but this involved him going on like some tirades that we'll talk about on people, like one particular that triggered him off, and people avoided him for most of the day on Monday, and it resulted in them forgetting to promote something very significant on last Monday.
Okay, now I've not heard any of this from anybody, so I look forward to that, bro.
Yeah, and a really big story that I wanted to talk about here in terms of the WWE and a show called Main Event that they do, and why it's suddenly become very important, why they're making a real effort in it, and there's even a point where they've approached people and said that this is going to be a show where if you have any ideas or anything, we're going to try stuff out on this show and are encouraging people to come forward. And that obviously only eliminates main event talents. So if you are just on the periphery of the main event, you can go into main event. We're talking about a Jeff Hardy, Elias, a Riddle, these kind of people. So main event now is a show which they are taking seriously, and you'll be surprised as to why. We'll talk about that on the other side.
Where does that show air?
It actually airs on WWE Network, but actually, I don't want. If I told you where it would.
I got a very interesting story last night that I had not heard anywhere, and I want to see if you've heard anything about this. Bro, I heard that the WWE Saudi deal is off. And I heard that the WWE sued the Saudis for $150 million over a contract, and they wound up settling for something like $39 million. And I'm hearing that deal is off. I heard that last night, and I'm like, this is the first time I'm hearing this. Have you heard anything like that?
No, the last I heard was that they owed them the show for 2020 because they've only done one, because their deal was supposed to be for 2 shows a year for the next 10 years from when it started. So that's the only thing I know. I know obviously about the dispute that they had with the Saudis last time. And right. In the end, the figure that you mentioned is very odd, because 39 million is exactly what they paid out as a settlement for the incident to their shareholders,
right?
For the Saudi thing. So possibly, okay, so if that is the figure, then maybe that is a case of them contacting Saudi and saying that we want out of the deal and suing for a certain amount, and then them only getting the compensation to sue to pay their shareholders, because the shareholders are the ones that sued WWE, if you recall, for false information, and perhaps Saudi picked up that bill. That figure would make sense, because that figure is the same figure that I know that they got sued for, but I've actually not heard the story, so I'll have to look into that for you.
Okay. All right, Billy, tell everybody we're going to jump. Oh, listen, I want to everybody listen to me listening on YouTube right now and Twitch. Guys, Billy's now going to deliver all that news over on, we do that on Patreon, patreon.com/RussoTWC. You want to check it out, bro. The whole show, Billy will talk about all that in detail. And guys, I am telling you, Billy delivers news, and then I read about it three months later everywhere else. So guys, patreon.com/RussoTWC. All right, bro, you got lock betting. You got dirty sheets. You got podcast on a pole. Give me the skinny, bro.
Yeah, lockbetting.com is still a good time to sign up. All our futures, which are plays that we made in the month of August and September, are coming to the end now. Champions League and Europa League ended in midweek. We made 15 units on that. That's £1,500, which is over $2,000 just on our futures. They all cashed in midweek, and we're coming off an 11-5 week in the NFL. So we're going to finish strong. There's so much to bet on, even if you sign up now for Patreon on the 11th. There's so much soccer played, because now we're getting into the Christmas period where England and Germany, they play weekend, midweek. So, and I've got a college basketball guy that delivers plays every day, plus the NBA is coming back, plus we're coming to the end of the NFL regular season. So you're almost, even if you sign up here on the 11th or the 12th, you're still getting a full month's worth. Obviously, as we get towards the end of the month, it won't be worth signing up. You may as well wait. But yeah, lockbetting.com is a place to go. Last month, we made £2,116, which is over $2,500. And it's our 90th month of consecutive profit. This month is going to be one of the biggest ever, because we're already over £2,000 up. So it's going to be well past that mark. The Dirty Sheets is where I give all of my news. The page is thedirtysheets.com. My Twitter is dirtysheets.com. And my gambling Twitter, where I post all of my results for my betting, is at SGP Soccer. I do a podcast with Cav on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday we get up and we do the Dirty Sheets. We talk about the week in wrestling. I do another podcast with Vince, Podcast on a Pole, which is the next episode, which is already recorded. It's a really good one. It's out on December the 21st. How did you said you really enjoyed the first one. How did you feel about the second one, Vince?
I love it. I love talking to you and Cav, bro, because we don't talk about the dead horse that's been beaten for 20 years. You guys listen to what I say, and then that draws the next question, bro. So we're talking about a lot of things that have never been discussed before, things that are interesting, bro. And that's why, bro, Podcast on a Pole is the only show where I'll talk about my career. It's the only one, and I do it because, you know, Billy's a dear friend. Billy has contributed greatly to the brand. I like Kaz. And that's Cav, and that's why I do it, guys. So if you want to hear it, yeah, I was thinking of Cav. If you guys want to hear it, man, it's awesome. And it's always the day after the pay-per-view, right, bro?
Yeah, this time it's the day after TLC. And then we do, there's Superstar exclusive set up as well, which I'm going to put onto a Patreon page. But here's another thing I wanted to plug, and I've not been plugging this enough. If you leave us a 5-star review for Podcast on a Pole, I will put your name into a hat, and then we will draw out the name each month, and you will win one of my signed action figures, because I'm trying to cut down on how many I have. I'm trying to get it down to 400. When I move to my new flat, I have my eyes on a specific cabinet, and I want to fill the cabinet, and that's it. So anything excess, I'm obviously not going to sell any of my son's toys. But I will be getting rid of some of mine. Not selling. I'm going to give them away. I'm going to give them away. If you give a 5-star review, and if you don't win in like January, February, or whatever, you'll be in the hat permanently. So if you leave your review, just because your name doesn't get pulled out of the hat, you'll stay in there throughout the full existence of Podcast on a Pole. So just head over to iTunes or wherever you listen to it. Leave us a 5-star review. Cav will pick up your name on the US side. I'll pick up your name on the UK side if you're UK based, or wherever you are. Your name will go into a hat, and we'll draw it out. And in January, you could win a free figure, or in February, March, April, whenever. So
Bro, there better be in this new flat you talk about. There better be room in the cabinet for this, bro.
I emailed you this week, and you saying they're running out. I said, Vince, take it out of what you pay me. I need one of those. I need to sign one of those figures. I said I can't run out.
No, I got to get your. You got to send me your address today. We'll take care of that.
And you have to send me yours as well. So Austin's still doing his thing over at Austin's Toys and Instagram. But this week it's Dad's toys because I ordered myself something.
Uh-oh. Well, so this is new? You just got this?
Yeah, this is.
I got to watch this, bro.
I paid over $150 for this because it's not like those AEW figures. This is actually worth something.
Oh, wow. Okay. $150, huh, bro?
It's lit there. There's not many of them. It's really hard to get a hold of. Check this box out.
Wow, that's a nice box. Is it? Okay, go ahead. Let me see what this is. Now you got me curious, bro. Wow.
It's another box inside the box.
Oh my gosh, let me see what this looks like. That's crazy, bro. Holy crap.
You don't have to open it to see it. You can just, there's a flap there with the artwork there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's beautiful, bro.
Oh yeah, this is not Austin's, this is Dad's.
Now, how do you find out about a toy like that, Billy? How do you know a toy like that's available? How do you find out?
I follow some accounts on Instagram, plus
right.
Some of the better shops, the comic book shops and that, they have it in stock. But this was pre-ordered like crazy. I mean, this one, unfortunately, I found out by seeing that the picture of it, and it's saying pre-order sold out. And I just started chasing it up, pre-order sold out, pre-order sold out. So I had to resort to bidding on it on eBay. And I won this and had it shipped from the States.
Man, that is beautiful packaging, bro. That is, bro. When I saw the Elite, I'm like, bro, did he get an AEW? That's what I thought, bro. Like, come on now.
No, I have actually. I've ordered one AEW figure. I ordered an MJF, which I'm waiting for because that's the only guy I like. But you know what? That goes nicely with. Let me just grab this up here. Remember, I was telling you in Cav off the. Oops. Move my laptop. I was telling you in Cab off the air the other day. I'm just going to show you guys. This goes with this from the 80s.
That's probably worth a pretty penny, bro.
Which is absolutely mint. I can't believe the condition this thing is in.
Yeah,
there's not a crease on it. So I don't know where I was keeping it, but I found it up there with my non-wrestling stuff because I have sports toys there, like your Michael Jordans, Kobe, Tiger Woods, Aaron Rodgers. I have all sports stuff. I was looking for a Diego Maradona because Diego Maradona passed away.
Yeah.
And I found this was accidentally in my sports stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff here that's not wrestling. And I do want to get a bit more movie and film and TV, memorabilia stuff, as opposed to just being wrestling. Obviously, this is the exception. So I've always loved Mr. T. I actually have T tattooed on me somewhere. But I don't know if I'll be able to get my sleeve up enough to show you.
Tony Khan, like Tony Khan, bro.
It's creeping in underneath.
I see it. I got you. Oh, nice. Nice.
You can Michael Jackson you can see, but you can't see Mr. T as well.
Bro, I remember Stephanie McMahon telling a story that when they signed up, when they had Mr. T for WrestleMania 1, she was a little girl, bro. And I remember she tells a story of Mr. T giving her a plastic bag full of 500 little Mr. T buttons. There were so many buttons she didn't know what the hell to do with them. I remember, and she was a little kid at the time. I always remember her telling that story.
But Shane would have been how old? Wouldn't he have been super into the A-Team at that point?
He probably, yeah, absolutely, sure. Maybe it was his idea to do the Mr. T crossover. Who knows?
How big a show was the A-Team in the US? Because obviously
it was big. It was definitely a big show in the US. Yep.
Why does it only have 2 seasons?
I don't know. That's a good question, bro. I don't know. Maybe.
What about Knight Rider? That was a show I watched as a kid. Was that a big show? Yeah,
that was a big show too, bro. Yeah, Kit the Car. I didn't watch either one of those shows, but they were big shows over here, bro.
Yeah, what we got over here was we got Knight Rider, A-Team, Maverick, Alf, and the dinosaurs, the Disney's dinosaurs. Yeah, I think they were
the family of dinosaurs. I know. I don't remember the name of that, but I know what you're talking about.
And what's weird is that we had WCW on WCW Worldwide on our normal TV channel, which used to come on Saturday afternoons. Used to get way more viewers than WWF because that was on Sky. But on terrestrial TV, what replaced very popular British wrestling that came on the afternoons, it was replaced by WCW Worldwide, which we had in. Not a lot of people know about that, but yeah, that was actually potentially WCW could have been a lot bigger over here than WWF, but they didn't have good people running it, I don't think.
Yeah. All right, guys. Also, remember, if you're listening on YouTube and Twitch, guys, grab your free month of the brand. You got to do it in the month of December. You got 20 days left. It costs you nothing. If you sign up today, December 11th, you'll get a free month till January 11th. If you've never tried the brand, now's the time. Just go to russosbrand.com. All right, bro. Billy and I are going to jump over to Patreon, patreon.com/Russo TWC. We will see you on the other side.